Welcome back to Reinventing Parenting Blog 13, August 20th, 2017. The topic, How to Be or Not Be Involved in Your Children's Lives. As soon as your child is out of the womb, he or she begins to assert their independence, and we begin to let go of them bit by bit. Independence is a powerful innate drive, and to interfere with it beyond a healthy measure is to prevent your child from growing up and being strong. The tricky thing about all of this protection and letting go is to know when to do what. I wish I had a magic formula to give you, but I don't. I can tell you that knowing yourself and the reasons behind your motives and actions sure will help. Why I say that is because we may overly protect or involve ourselves in our child's life because we fear losing them to harm or simply growing up and going away. Mine was and is an overconcern for my children and grandchildren getting harmed. And I thought I was okay with them growing older and going on their own until it happened. Yes, unequivocally, we must interfere at times to keep them from getting hurt, both physically and emotionally, all through their childhood, adolescence, and pre-adult years. The older they become, that interference comes in the form of advice that you give lovingly and then let them go to choose their own way despite your own feelings. That's tough. And I know it's very tempting to want to make absolute sure nothing ever happens to your child at any age, but I warn you not to place an intense, be careful burden on them. Some of the best child psychologists and therapist models for child rearing is to allow your children to learn about the consequences of their actions. It does away with punishment. It's a cause-effect model. I'll give you a personal example. When my daughter was a preteen, she wanted to wear mascara every day. I objected, but she persisted, and other than tackling her to the floor and washing it off, I had to let her do it. We learned on a visit to our kind ophthalmologist that wearing mascara too young can destroy one's eyelashes, and soon after that my daughter's eyelashes began to fall out. Thankfully, they grew back, and she wore very little makeup after that. I would have felt guilty if it had turned out that she had to go through life without eyelashes. It was a serious lesson of learning through the consequences of her actions. Learning through the consequences of our actions is not something that is learned through one experience. It will arise with every significant decision your child makes, and that goes for adults as well. My best advice regarding involvement is to make sure that they know you're there for them, watching from your nearby corner, ready to reach out whenever they need you to take an active role. Children will give signals overtly and covertly when they need help from their parents. And generally speaking, be interested and involved in your child's life and what is going on with them, especially at school. Let your kids know you're listening will help them to come to you when they need you. When your children are talking about concerns, stop whatever you're doing and listen. Express interest in what they're saying without being intrusive. Listen to their point of view, even if it's difficult to hear. Let them complete their point before you respond. Tread carefully into your child's most private world. If they have learned to trust you, they will come to you with verbal and nonverbal invitations to walk through the door into their lives and willingly ask you for suggestions to make their world a happier and safer place. This advice to know when to let go and when to be there applies for every age, from infancy upwards. Your infant will tell you what foods they dislike by spitting them out. They know what stuffy comforts them, what frightens them, and what people they do not trust. At a certain point when they're learning to walk, they won't want you to hang on to them. They'll know when it's right to do it alone. Your role is to provide them with a safe space so if they fall, it won't be against a sharp corner. Listen to them and give them the space they need to assert themselves. Allow younger children to refuse your involvement when it's treading on their right to be themselves. Give them their right to take a tantrum without judgment, criticism, or shame. It may be the last one they will ever have. Always remember and never forget, these little beings who have come to live with you for a short while are entities with their own will. Protect them without denying them respect that is their right as much as it is yours. Bye for now.